speed, you know the feeling. The longing to take your car up to the red line, to go so fast around a hairpin turn you can barely stay on the road.
Oh, I can see why this is addictive. Oh!
It's the ultimate test of driving. The ride of a lifetime. It is a stock car. This is the Edmonton Grand Prix. These guys have been racing each other at different events across the country. There's probably a few of them who would like to win.
This year I'm sitting third in points. We've run into a couple stumbles we haven't run into in the past, but you know, we keep our chin up and we keep digging away here. Hopefully at the end of the year we're back on top.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, we all love it, or we wouldn't do it, I guess. But it can get stressful too.
I'm one of the youngest here. I'm the youngest to win a race still, and hopefully that doesn't get beat.
The stock car. On the outside, it's the same shape as a car you might drive to the mall. But on the inside, it's another story altogether. These cars are going to be traveling at almost 200 miles per hour. This is not your grandmother's Sunday drive. This is a race. This is serious.
I am speed.
I am grease lightning.
I am on my way to my first driving lesson.
I could have died.
Okay, here's your new best friend.
Right.
This is obviously a steering wheel. It comes off.
Yeah.
Now, when this steering wheel goes on the car, it kind of clicks. And the reason that comes off is if anything ever happened, it makes it easier to get you out of the car. One key thing to it is you got to make sure that it's clicked on. Because if not, you go down into the first corner, and this ends up in your hand. And I can guarantee you at 100 mile an hour, you can't put that back on there, and it doesn't turn very well like that either. So, very key to make sure that's stuck on.
Right. Should I put this on first? What's cooler?
Get in the car. And then...
Right. Perhaps should have limbered up a little better first. Oh.
Mark Dilley runs a driving school in Barrie, so I guess he knows what he's doing. But I'm not sure I know what I'm doing.
Mark gets the cool helmet, huh? That just comes with seniority, I'm assuming.
But hey, what's the worst that could happen? Okay, don't answer that.
So how do I turn it on? Ignition first?
Yeah, and then
I punch it. We're good to go.
Ah, come on!
Okay, from what Mark's told me, it's all about finding the line around the course. He's put cones out to show me what to do.
So, first cone coming up.
At the end of the straightaway, it's time to get off the gas and on the brake.
That second cone. Where is that second cone? Oh, here it is.
Then, about halfway around the turn, it's time to get back on the gas.
Here we go. Pick her up a bit. Now let's see if I know what I'm doing.
I thought that was pretty damn good for a beginner. But apparently I was wrong.
see if we can turn it up a notch.
What's that mean? Turn it up a notch. I pooed in my pants. Now apparently we're going to simulate race conditions. Well, Mr. 1994 National Champion, let's see what you've got.
Oh, this is creepy. This is creepy. Oh, man, get outside.
This is the point where Mark Dilley has met his match because I am taking the inside track. I've got my foot to the floor. I can almost taste victory. And at the finish line, it's Douglas by a nose. Oh yeah, baby! I am speed! They say the first car race happened 5 minutes after the second car was built. Races took place pretty much anywhere you could find an open space, someone to race. Apparently the first racers were moonshiners who needed racing skills to get away from the police. In the 1930s they started racing each other, and the public started lining up to watch. The first races were all run on dirt tracks. There's still dirt tracks around, and driving on them is a whole different game.
We've always said we're dirt guys. Asphalt's for getting there, dirt's for racing. You know, since 1950, my dad had race cars. Now I'm into the grandkids.
That's 4 generations of the Willard family playing in the dirt.
Got a couple rookies. We call it the Young Guns Racing. It's a new generation for us. They're learning every week, I tell you.
There's been a couple pileups that I've gotten into. A couple guys going through the corner and they've lost control and spun out, and I was just right there and had nowhere to go and hit them. So a little bit of bad luck. I'm hoping tonight I can stay out of trouble, finish the race. The turns are banked, so it helps pull the car around the corner, but even when you're in the middle of the turn, when the car starts to get sideways, you have to back steer. You have to know the limit. It's a fine line from having the car going through the corner sideways where you're controlling it to you're just spinning the tires and the car is going around. Started first and ended up second. One lap where I got a little high going through 1 and 2, and I thought a couple cars might have gotten underneath me, but I gathered the car back up and held my position, so that was good.
Stock car racing was supposed to be more about the drivers than the cars, so there were rules about what you were allowed to do to your vehicle. It had to be a car you could buy at a dealership, and you could only use parts from the dealership to modify it. But then in the 1950s, Hudson started putting racing options on their street cars, and in 1953, their cars cleaned up. Hey, no fair. Well, now, stock cars aren't actually stock cars at all. They're special purpose racing machines built entirely by hand. At Bill Davis Racing, they won the Daytona 500 in 2002, so they know a thing or two about building race cars.
This is the beginning of a car right here, the 2 frame rails. We lay those out first, and the frame rails are very thick. This is the main structure of the car right here. And we'll connect it all together, and put the cage on there, weld it up.
The body panels are formed by hand. They have to match the shape of a production model, and there's a template to check that. The colored lines tell you how much you're allowed to be out. It's about 1/4 of an inch, mostly. Then they paint them up and add the decals. They don't have real headlights, for example. You don't need those on a racetrack. They don't have horns either, or cup holders. Bit of a ripoff, really.
After the cars are all fully assembled, this is where we bring them. Once they get them out here, they'll choose which cars they're going to take to the racetrack. This is a short track car because it has so much ducking in the front end to cool the brakes. If you're at a intermediate track, they'll take an intermediate car. It looks very similar to that car, except that they have no front end brake ducts. And then if you look here, two times a year we have a super speedway races, which is Daytona and Talladega. And you can see the difference between the tire well and the tire. There's very little room. What you're trying to do at a super speedway is deflect all the air away from your car. And the transporter is what gets all of our parts and pieces to the racetrack. We have all the motor parts that you'll need, an extra distributor cap. You got a couple carburetors down there. We also carry an additional motor to the racetrack. Anything that you can change or that can break, you bring an extra one. You're basically planning for disaster when you go to the racetrack.
Disaster. That sounds intriguing. It's the day of the race. The qualifying laps have determined who starts where. They've also shown the pit crews how their cars are handling. Now, before the race starts, they're adjusting whatever they can to try and get their car just a little bit ahead of the competition.
Well, after the first round, we were adjusting the rear sway bar. We were trying to get the car to tighten up, which means we wanted the front end to do more work than the back end because the car wanted to spin out. By changing those things, we can change how the car handles through the corner.
Who was fast this morning might not be fast this afternoon. Temperature's different. It's a bit of a dice roll, and everybody's trying to really throw the dice right now and see who gets the right dice, I guess.
One of the most important things a crew can change is the suspension. As you change the suspension, you change where the weight of the car gets thrown as it corners. If the weight lands on the front tires, the back tires will tend to slip out. If the weight is on the rear, then the front tires will slip first. The aim is to keep the weight balanced so you can take a corner at the highest speed possible without slipping at all. All right, gentlemen, let's roll.
Start's the most critical part because that's when a lot of the cars are bunched up side by side. You can't have a bad line going in there. If you get a bad line going in there, you can lose a lot of spots and end up in the wall.
There's quite a few big wide straightaways in this Edmonton course. You know, if you can set yourself up on the straightaway to outbrake somebody into the corner, those are kind of your best passing opportunities.
You know, you got to try to let it go into the corner a little bit deeper than him and brake a little later than the other guy and try to get position on the inside of him.
Everybody's a little better at different spots of the racetrack. I might be better in turn 5 than the guy in front of me, so I'm going to try and get him in turn 5, and he's going to try and get me back in turn 7. So it's kind of like a cat and mouse game.
The driver doesn't have time to pay attention to anything but the car a few inches from his front bumper. He doesn't even have side mirrors, so there is a spotter in the stands to tell him when it's safe to make his move.
Okay, Mark, I'll clear behind him.
The other thing that can make a big difference is the pit crew. Let's find out how that works, shall we?
I'm going to pit school.
So basically, you slide this in where that mark is.
Right.
Up you go, you just bump
That's
it
it,
up.
you found the frame?
Yeah, you just keep going till you get the wheel off the ground. You're a jackman.
I'm nervous, strangely nervous about the jack. You put your foot on it? Anyone ever vomit while working the jack? Is that up?
Yep.
And then you get a bit of a break, right?
So you're gonna grab one hand inside the rim,
Right.
the other one on the bottom of the tire.
Yeah.
So you're gonna kind of eye one of them up, come in, kind of slam it on like that.
Go.
Come on, go, go.
That's good. What are you doing on Saturday night?
As the car's coming in,
Right.
you're running out,
Right.
drop down onto your knees. Forward,
Right.
forward, this is reverse.
Here we go.
I got 3 of them off, 2 of them are lost, and 2 are still pretty darn tight. Is that good enough, though?
No, not for today.
Okay.
You're not gonna get that wheel off.
Really?
Go.
Don't rush me, man!
Go, 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 go.
What's going on? Forward, forward, forward!
We had a little nut malfunction.
What do you
but,
do when that happens?
He's got 4 tight. Send him.
Send him? Brother-in-law, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not that easy. That's why the real crews practice. They even have a coach.
Less than 13 seconds, we're done. Less than 14 seconds, we just do 3. Otherwise, we add a 4th one. Ready? Ready? Good job, good job. It's a 13.5 in the rear.
There's a 15-1 in the front. All right, one more. There's so many details to changing, so many details to carrying, so many details to jacking the trucks. You need to look at every little thing. If you drop the jack out early, take off. But look good today. Look good. You stayed in, you kept your body weight, you had good weight transfers. It didn't look like you were, you know, what we talked about yesterday, flaring out that bottom part of that tire when you're going in. Kept that nice and up and down, kept it parallel to the truck. It looked good. These guys have been practicing all year long. A couple of the guys, it's first year changing or first year carrying or first year jacking. And so basically it's just doing repetitions to make sure they get those things right. Ready, last one, fellas. Nice stop, fellas, 13-4. It's that way to end on a good one.
So what do you do if you want to race but you can't afford all the fancy hardware? Well, there's a race for you too. Just be careful. Here at Lowe's Motor Speedway in North Carolina, they invented a race that's cheap to enter and fun to watch.
Entertainment. That's what it's all about, entertainment. I call them grocery getters, Grandma's car. You can run this thing out of a junkyard. That's what makes it so economical. We put the roll cage in it, safety seat. Most round tracks, you turn left at the end of the straightaway. So when you apply the brakes, you want it to help turn left as much as possible. We're going to cheat a little bit and cut some of the padding off of this brake pad here so that the right side brake is considerably weaker than the left side brake. Thus, when you put on the brakes, it pulls it to the left.
They also wanted to make it entertaining, so they got everyone to give their car a theme, and they started messing with the rules.
We're not just always doing straight-up racing. Some nights we might do second across the line wins. Some nights we might do a trailer race where they all have to tow a trailer. The plan tonight, the competitors don't know this yet, but they are going to be racing the opposite way around the racetrack. They've all set their cars to turn left. Tonight they're going to be running right.
Last but not least, one more rule change. In crash cars, contact is allowed. Now that is entertainment.
You don't want what I think about that race on camera, I tell you that. They raced us the wrong way. Got a bunch of tore up stuff for nothing. Don't have a clue where we finished, at least we finished. Was it entertaining?
Yeah, it was. Crashes are pretty entertaining. But it's always more fun when the driver walks away. At the NASCAR Research and Development Center in North Carolina, they're developing the car of tomorrow, just for that purpose.
The whole concept of this car was driven by safety first, lessen the G-spike, also protect the driver in a better designed roll cage and frame rail configuration, giving more room. The car's much bigger inside.
The other main difference is that instead of spoilers, they now have a splitter in the front and a rear wing in the back. Both parts are adjustable, so you won't need to own different cars for different tracks anymore. The other thing about a rear wing is that it makes the air flow behind your car smoother, which makes it easier for the person in second to pull out and overtake. So, the car of tomorrow isn't actually designed to win. It's designed to be easier to beat. But hey, not every motorsport is about being the fastest. Drifting started on the mountain switchback roads of Japan, and now it's becoming popular here. At a contest, the aim isn't to get there first, it's to get your car out to as great an angle as you can while staying inside the course.
When I was 4 years old, I had a go-kart, and I used to always be like obsessed with pulling the little paddle brake and sliding around and just seeing how far I could slide. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was just having fun, spending money on tires. And as I was tuning my car and figuring out ways to modify it, I heard of a sport called drifting and downloaded some videos on the internet. And I was like, you know, this is amazing.
When you're approaching a turn, you can either initiate your drift with either pulling the handbrake or by turning in and giving a clutch kick while on the throttle. And what that does is upset the drivetrain and the car will start to rotate and use steering and throttle to get yourself through the corner. The wheel speed is always about anywhere from like 5 to 30 miles an hour faster than the car is going.
The big thing that draws me to it is it's the only motorsport that I have ever been involved in where you can really like display your personality and your own personal style and flair through your driving. You know, you have guys out there that are really, really conservative and very smooth, and you have your other guys who are just foot to the floor, full throttle.
That's pretty dangerous. If you mess up, there's not too much room for error on some of these corners. There's a wall right on the outside, so you know you can smash your car up, but it's it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
It's the finish of the Edmonton Grand Prix. For the winner, donuts on the straightaway and champagne on the podium.
All in all, pretty good day. We're pretty happy with it. Came out of here 7th. We picked up a few spots. It's tough running out there. Everybody's pretty close.
Yeah, finished 8th, the top 10, so that's not too bad a day when you know there's 38 cars in the field.
Unfortunately, we had an ignition box break and then our switch broke at the same time, so I couldn't flick it over. It's so frustrating, you don't know what happened. There's nothing you can do about it but just move on.
I had a flat tire, so started the race in second. I was in 37th in 2 laps. But we charged back up, came 5th, so, all in all, a pretty good day.
300 kilometers of driving at full speed have taken their toll on the cars. They're gonna need a lot of tender loving care before the next race.
Speed gets in your blood. Once you have felt the raw power of that stock car throbbing beneath you, driving becomes an addiction. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.